All right. All right, anytime, Corey.
For the third time, let's go ahead and call the meeting to order. So the first item up then is the minutes, approval of the minutes, rather, May 18th.
I move to approve the minutes.
And I'll second that.
All right. All those in favor say aye
Aye.
or raise your hand. Anybody want to discuss? I'm seeing no yeses, so that motion carries. So do we want to move in? Do we have to move into the elections of officers at this meeting? Or at least election of chair and vice chair?
Well, there's no reason not to.
Okay,
Yes,
I
sir.
just didn't know without Jim here, because Jim was the vice chair.
I think if we could wait, could we move that, rearrange the
Yeah, we
agenda
could, yeah.
slightly?
Yes, yeah, I think
If,
that
yeah,
would
if
be-
Jen's come, we can move on to updates.
Yeah.
So I can fill in. Jose, I was just announcing, I'm actually no longer with North Central. I actually took a job with Badger Bus. So I will be starting there on Monday. As far as I know, still hoping to be involved in the commission. North Central's just not at a capacity to really do anything with us right now. So maybe they might have somebody in January, February, March, whatever the time frame is for next year. So in terms of hotel updates, when I was there, we were starting to really pick up this point moving forward, middle June into July. So we were doing well during the weekend. So weekday stuff is still kind of up in the air, but it's definitely picking up and improving. Hopefully the rates will grow a little bit with that, but beggars can't be choosers. We've got hotel stays, and we did really well with the golf tournament last weekend. So that was a big plus. And that honestly, that was the event that kicked off the year for us. We were waiting for the first event and finally had one that, a good size event that drew some room nights. So, like I said, hopefully just moving forward, it keeps going.
Jose, did you have a good weekend with the golf tournament in?
It was pretty
Good.
busy.
Good.
Julie, do you want to do staff updates?
Sure. And I just for the record, I am looking at the city ordinances, the Tourism Commission, how constituted,
Mhm.
and the section that was here that indicated a quorum was 3 people or 3 members is no longer in the ordinance.
Okay.
It now refers to the powers and the duties per the Wisconsin state statute.
Which is majority.
So, yeah, so I would say that
4.
we are subject to what would be construed as a standard quorum
Well, that makes more sense. I
rather
think.
than what was
Yeah.
in the ordinance previously. Okay, so staff reports, a couple of things from me. Destinations Wisconsin and the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association have partnered up again this year to create some radio spots that are intended to kind of heighten the importance of tourism and DMOs in the communities that are playing these spots. Belter and Lincoln has donated their time in the past, and they are doing so again this year to produce the spots for us, and they'll also be updating the commercial. We decided this year to forego TV because it was just too expensive. And this is a collaborative effort on behalf of DMOs that are interested in volunteering to help support this. So we've been doing it for the last couple of years, and it was a nominal fee this year. So we went ahead and decided to participate again as a DMO. The campaign started last week, and it will continue on through the remainder of this week. Then they'll be working on a social media campaign that's going to run the week of July 5th. That's when the updated video will be playing. So if you hear a spot on your local radio station, know that we were instrumental in getting that on the air.
All right.
Perfect.
Marketing RFP, I had a meeting last week with Lynn Pilch and Suzanne Barnett to advise them that the commission wanted to move forward on going to an RFP for marketing services, that we would not be negotiating or renewing the agreement that we currently have with them. And Murray and I will just start working on the next steps for us, which will be the development of the RFP, putting together a selection team that will be working with us on the interview process. And that's probably going to take us through the end of July, hoping to have somebody on board in early August. Suzanne and Lynn did indicate that they would make the transition as smooth as possible for us. So I don't anticipate any problems, and we will be mindful of projects that we currently have in the works and trying to wrap those up in the late third quarter or early fourth quarter for them. And then lastly, we do have a little bit of progress on the renovation. Laura, if you want to jump in and just let folks know how things are going on your end.
Sure. Yeah. So progress is being made. It is, unfortunately, everything is just taking a little bit longer than we had hoped. As we're working through the different aspects of the project, it's just each little step seems to take a little bit longer, with just even getting like a consultation from a company or business and then waiting for them to follow up with an estimate or a quote. With COVID, things are, I mean, supplies are at a premium, pretty much anything relating to construction. And then of course, contractors' schedules are very full. So everything's just being pushed back a little bit longer. But we did meet with the city building inspector last week. We are going to be looking to get an architect stamp on our floor plan in order to get that ready for bid. Cost-wise, we've determined that we will likely need to go to RFP. And I guess our big focus now is going to be just making sure that the lobby, the front area, is going to be able to open to the public. And that's going to happen far sooner than the back completion. So I think that's about it. Julie, did I miss anything?
I don't think so, Laura.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah.
That's it for staff, Corey.
Perfect. Well, we can move forward then into the Nye Turner publishing services agreement. Staff recommends approval of the agreement. So I just want to go back on this. My wife works for Nye Turner, so I should technically abstain from this one as well. I actually found out about it through the agenda, so I didn't even know that we're at where we're at. But if I abstain, we only have 4. Does that matter? Do we know? Are we good? Or do we need Jim to be here? Do you need to have a majority
to have
vote, or do you just need to have
so-
4 in attendance? Because I'm going to be abstaining from these 2 votes.
We need Jim then.
I have to.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Then we need Jim.
I would vote on them, but I feel it's probably a conflict of interest to do so.
Probably gonna need Jim for the trolley.
Yeah.
You want to just keep moving through here and we can talk about these last 3 items and then come back?
Sure, we can skip that in the trolley, so then do the branding update.
Okay. So on the branding side, things are moving along. I had a conversation with the city attorney last month to discuss trademark, copyright, approval for the logo creative, and we're working through some issues with that and a couple of little design tweaks that might have to take place with Belter and Lincoln. So we're kind of at a standstill at the moment until we can get through those couple of gates. But we're thinking that within the next week or 2, we should be able to move back onto our plan and get rolling with the setting up the photo shoots and the commercials that Belter and Lincoln will be doing for us. Budgeting, Laura, can you bring up the calendar of the cycle that Bill put together, the budget
Yeah.
development calendar?
You bet.
So Bill Burns will be discussing this tonight with the Finance Committee. Kathy, I don't remember if this is on the council agenda. Is it?
I think it
Is
is.
it moving over to council too? It's not really deviating from what we've been doing the past couple of years. The finance folks will start talking about it in July, late July. Then the department managers meet the following day. Basically what we do is we just talk through the formatting that's going to be needed and how we are submitting the information to the folks in finance. Then all department heads will meet with the mayor, Mike Davis, Bill Burns and staff, and Brian from HR to just talk through what we have submitted for a budget. In early September, then we set up the department head meetings with the finance committee to present our budgets to them. Latter part of September, we start taking the budgets apart and talking about what's going to make it and what might not make it, any tweaks or revisions that need to be done. Then we move into finance committee hearings for the public, the regular council meeting where they authorize a public hearing notice to discuss the budget. That's usually in mid-October. And then early November, there's one more discussion, deliberations, and a public hearing with the final budget hopefully being approved in mid to late November. In the past, I've come in with a draft budget in July, and I'll be working on something, but I'd like to wait until August to actually present you with our draft. We've got some things that are going to be hanging out there in the month of July that I'd like to tighten up before we come in and talk with you guys. There still would be adequate time at the August 17th meeting to make any revisions that you would want to be making on the budget, for me to make those changes and then submit them to the finance director, and then set up our meeting with the mayor, finance, and the rest of the folks that sit in on that first budget review. So if that's agreeable with you, August 17th would be the presentation of the first draft from us. That also gives us a chance to take a look at the room tax collections for the second quarter and start making some forecasts based on what we've seen in the first half of the year. We do have some agreements that are going to be coming up for review in 2021. Destination Madison. Our agreement with them expires at the end of December. It's an auto renew for 3 years unless we want to renegotiate the terms. I think this year we might want to have a discussion about the 17% that we've been giving them. Based on room tax collections and what I think will be the forecast for 2022, possible we might want to think about dialing that back for at least 2022, and then maybe review going forward for 23 and 24 in that calendar year. We do have to give them a 60-day advance notice if we want to modify or terminate anything. The last time I went through this process with Diane, we started talking in late August. So that would fit with the timing of talking about a draft budget at that August meeting. We also have our CRM agreement with SimpleView, which is coming up for renewal. It's actually scheduled to expire on July 31st with renewal on August 1st, but I'm negotiating with them to give us a 6-month extension under the current terms and then sign a new agreement effective January 1. My reasoning for doing that is to get them on a calendar year. And we added a couple of things since the original agreement. So the payment schedule's kind of funky right now. And it would be helpful if we could just get everything on one agreement with 4 payments in the calendar year for the calendar year. If I'm not successful with that, I'll be bringing that agreement back in July for review with a signature on August. The good news was none of the pricing changed, and that would hold for another 3 years. So that's terrific. And then the last one is the trolley agreement that actually doesn't expire until 2022. But the way the agreement is written, we have an option of having a discussion during the budgeting cycle. So that might be another agreement that we want to take under advisement as we start talking through the budget for 2022. Any questions on the process or what I'm suggesting as a plan? Okay.
I think it sounds good. I mean,
Yeah,
I'd
no, it
rather
sounds
have
good.
you have it, nailed down before we start looking at something and then things change again. So we might as well wait until you finish it up or
Mhm,
have it more buttoned down, I should say.
for sure.
Okay.
Well, I guess we
Okay.
can do the last item on here. It's, does anybody have a preference for in-person, virtual, or hybrid? I don't know if we want to just take a vote or whatever, but I'm completely fine with in-person. Not that that's the right or wrong way we could do hybrid, but does anyone else have a preference?
Doesn't matter to me anymore. Are you talking about September? I mean, for the August or July or August meeting, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it really can be whenever we want. Like, we could do it the next meeting if we wanted to. And just start meeting it. The only thing is, Julie, correct me if I'm wrong, City Hall, we're required to wear masks, right?
No,
Not anymore?
no,
If you're
that's,
vaccinated, yeah.
yeah, if you're
Okay,
vaccinated.
okay. I was just gonna say, we would have to do that if it was in person, but
Yeah.
never mind.
Mike did tell us today that they have upgraded the equipment in conference room B to
Mhm.
be able to do a hybrid meeting. And we're doing a test drive as a CD team at our meeting next Tuesday. It sounds like the first group that tried using it was pretty happy with the results. I know this was quite a lively conversation at the last council meeting, and the council actually was pretty supportive of a hybrid meeting. I think I counted 5 out of the 8 people, or 3 people were supportive of in person, but the folks that were supportive of hybrid did stress the fact that it needs to be a good experience,
Mhm.
which meant we needed to update the technology a little bit. But I think that the general consensus among that group, and Kathy, jump in anytime, was it provides more opportunities for the citizens to participate in these meetings, and it's actually been beneficial for folks that have kids that were finding it difficult to get to the meetings. So it's got some benefits from those 2 perspectives. My thing would be if the experience isn't good, I'd rather just do in person.
Should we, I mean, like, could we do like, not to put anyone on the spot, but just, is it like our RSVP when whether we're coming to the meeting, if we just say we're in person or interested in hybrid or something like that, and just try it for July? Who knows, I guess maybe all of us might be okay doing it in person, but do you want to maybe do that? And, Jim obviously can chime in for that
I don't
too.
mind. One thing I don't want to lose is when we can record these meetings and post them so people can go and watch them if they're not available. I find that really beneficial. And that's what I don't want to lose. I'm totally fine doing it in person, but I really want to have the ability to record the meetings and post them. And like Julie was saying, I do, if people are, if you can't make the meeting for some reason, like somebody's a knee replacement or something, and they still want to participate. But when we were calling into meetings, it was just, you couldn't see what was on the screens and it wasn't
Right.
the same. But Zoom seems to have taken care of a lot of those issues, and I like it. But
So-
I definitely will meet in person, but I want that option.
Since we have the option, do like with the technology, I feel like we could do that with every meeting, is just do hybrid, but if we're all there, right? I may be completely wrong, but if we're all there, then we could still record it. And that way it
Mhm.
leaves the door open if anybody wants to call in
Right.
or
Mhm.
Zoom in, I
Yeah,
guess.
my understanding is that this equipment that has now been installed in conference room B would allow you to live stream. Excuse me. Which
Okay.
would, which would give you the option.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I know what the council, they're thinking that in person you would need to have a quorum, and then you could have a hybrid, you could have other people join remotely, but in-person quorum would be one way that they would like to see it done, so.
Mhm.
I wouldn't mind meeting. I kind of getting sick of this Zoom.
Zoomed out.
I'd like
I
to be in
agree.
person with people.
I agree. I vote for
sure.
in person. I'm done with
Yeah.
Zoom meetings.
So it sounds like we should be good to should we just do it? Should we do it next month? Should we just move forward with that?
Yeah.
I'm fine with it. And like you
For
said,
me.
if someone doesn't want to do it, then they have to, they can call
You can
in.
call in, or like you said, if somebody, if I'm gonna be late and I've got something with my kids or something, and
Yep,
can just call in, then
Mhm.
right. That's right.
Okay,
I'm good with that. So I think we've gotten through everything now. Any updates from Jim?
July in
I-
person, it
I tried
is.
sending him a text, but then it came up as somebody, Jen Obranovich, but I realized that they both had the same cell phone number. So now, because Jen was in that job, so now I don't know who
Oh.
got it, if Jim got it or if Jen or Jim got it. though.
Yeah.
Does
Let me-
anybody
I'm
have
gonna-
Jim's cell phone?
I'm gonna step away and try giving him a call.
Yeah, because
Okay.
if he can spare I don't think these are gonna take that long for discussion.
And I think you're allowed to abstain and we still have our quorum.
And that's, I'm fine with if we can do that.
And I'm pretty sure we can do that. And
Okay, I just
Mike-
wasn't sure, 'cause
Mike
it has-
did reply, and Mike did say we need 4 for a quorum, so.
I think this is probably the first time myself, at least, have ever abstained on anything from being on here, but
No, I think anybody can abstain,
Yeah.
We could have one person vote and everybody can abstain. Other than that, it's just the way it goes.
well, and ever since I've been chair, I've never really voted in, motioned or made any movement on anything anyway. So if we have to proceed that way, we can still do it.
Right. And we have a quorum, and if you abstain, that's
still
irrelevant
fine.
to the quorum. Yep. That's
So
all.
yeah, then maybe we should just move forward and if she
Well,
can't
let's
get a
wait for
hold of him.
Julie. Yeah, let's wait for
Yeah.
Julie.
Did she say shush or did she say
She
1
just
minute?
went 1 minute. Mari, you almost look like you're in a witness protection program and you're against this blank wall. And you're not saying a word. You're just listening to us. I watched a couple court cases, which I don't know why, probably because I was bored waiting to do something at work and I was watching some of those online. And some of those people who are being, interviewed or being prosecuted or whatever, they always seem to be on just a clear wall, or a plain wall, like you're sitting behind, sitting in front of.
Maybe it's like a
That's-
mugshot wall.
Yeah, you're like, let's turn sideways, please. There, now we got a smile.
Yep.
I didn't have a smile from you before, so now we got a smile. Now you look like you're enjoying yourself.
And I look like I didn't pay my power bill.
Yeah,
I don't hang a lot of stuff because it's an apartment. And you get dinged on every nail you put in
Yeah.
it. So, And this is my office, and I, obviously this is where my chair is, so I never see this wall until I'm on Zoom. And then everybody comments. And I'm like,
Okay, Jim did not pick up, so
Kathy thinks that we can proceed even if I abstain. We just need 4 for the quorum.
okay.
So if we want, we can just move forward. The question is do we want to go, I guess we need to make a decision on the chair and vice chair. I'm assuming we can just defer that to next month.
We could, if Jim doesn't hop on.
That would be my recommendation, I guess, just because, Jim's the vice chair and he's not able to join.
Yeah, I think we should move that to next month's agenda.
So we'll defer those 2 items,
Mhm.
which then gives us the next one, is then Nye Turner, which I don't remember if we didn't really talk about it yet. I guess if you guys want to go over it, but staff recommends approval of the agreement by the commission. And I guess anything to add to that?
Mari, do you want to take that one?
sure. As you guys know, we went out to RFP for our visitor guide. We sent a request for proposal to 8 different agencies and received 6 responses. And we decided on Nye Turner. They've we picked them basically because they have a lot of experience doing visitor guides. We were very happy with their body of work, and they've done a lot of, obviously they do a lot of guides here in Wisconsin, and they are familiar with us. And they were able to offer everything that we were asking for a very reasonable price. And so that is how we chose them. And so we're just asking you guys to approve that so that we can carry it through tonight to the city council meeting and get it approved so that we can get started in designing this guide. So any questions?
I'd make a motion to approve, and I just want to say, boy, getting 6 responses, that's pretty impressive. Good for you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Really good. I second it.
Okay. Any discussion or?
Yeah, Kathy, do we have to add and that we recommend approval
Or the
to the
amount?
finance committee and the council as part of that motion, or if we approve it? It's been so long since we've done an agreement.
I recommend that we go with the Nye Turner Media Group Publishing Services for the Visitor's Guide. Is that what you're asking?
Do we need to throw the cost in there too?
17,000 in there.
I don't think we
Yeah.
need the cost so much as, do we need to also say that we recommend
Okay,
to the finance and the council that they approve it, or by us approving it, is that inferred?
I think that's inferred.
Okay,
That's our recommendation
okay.
by going with it. But I am happy to add that little nugget too, if you'd like.
I'll put it in the minutes as note.
So I guess if there's no other discussion, all those in favor say aye, or raise your hand.
I,
All right. And like I said, I'll abstain, but I know they'll be really excited. My wife was really excited about it. So, and I think they did, I want to say they did Destination Madison years ago too.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, we talked to several DMOs who have used the service in the past, and they were all pretty complimentary.
and if anyone wants to see their work, my wife does Brava magazine, so that's theirs. If you're not familiar.
Oh, it is.
who did the visitor guide in the past, did they reply to the RFP also?
They did. Pilton Barnett, our agency.
Oh, they
of
did.
record,
Okay, I didn't know. if it
Our
was
visitor guide
actually them.
before, and they also responded, yeah.
Okay.
So motion carries on that.
Okay, thank you, everybody.
Mhm.
And then the trolley agreement, Julie and I started discussing this back before I even was looking at a job change. The only thing I want to add to this is North Central. I talked to Michelle, and she's our director of sales over these properties, and we have no transportation right now. They're probably not going to be bringing any transportation back anytime, at least this year, if ever. So they expressed interest in it. I guess I'll just leave it at that. Like having an option, I guess, for the front desk to move people around. Because normally we used to have that local 5-mile shuttle, and it's even if we had the vehicles running, we don't have drivers, so it's just so tough. 3 weeks ago, I was doing housekeeping. There's just worker shortage right now, like it's impacting everybody else. So she did say that they're definitely interested in that as well. I can leave it at that.
It's good to know that they'll help promote it too if we've got it.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, I think that's the toughest job is front desk, for all intents purposes, has really been kind of a revolving door. So, if you're going in there, let's just say, tourism went in there this month, you really have to kind of go in there and just kind of drop off a flyer or a reminder every other month, not moving forward indefinitely, but until things start to shape up a little bit. Because I can guarantee you the 7 to 3, shift Monday through Friday, chances are it'd be a different person. A lot of GMs are working front desk right now, so until they can hire people. So it's probably going to take a little bit more in terms of that from that aspect. But I know that, like I said, they're interested in, and I'm sure they'll be helpful with it too, and trying to promote it too if we end up doing the weekends.
Well, how do you all feel about just running on Friday and Saturday? The hours that I had listed on the agenda are the hours that were in the agreement that we have with them. The only thing I'm questioning is running until 10:30 on Friday night. I think we went that late initially because Capital Brewery had entertainment until 9. And I'm not sure what they're doing right now. If they're running bands on Friday night or Saturday night. Kevin told me one night. They were just trying
They-
one night.
They had a band last Friday and they have a band this Friday.
Yeah, it looks like
maybe
Friday
it's-
nights is their
Maybe
night
it's
right
Friday
now.
nights who's doing it then. Okay.
Is 5:30 too late?
To
That's what I
start,
was wondering. Could we do
Yeah,
5 to
4
10 or something
o'clock
like that? Or
4:30 or? I mean, I just think of, and not that I'm doing happy hours anymore, but I mean, people do like to go out and get an early start sometimes on Friday nights. I don't know.
I think without having to renegotiate it at this point, we probably would want to, if we would just want to adjust the times as the time, so if it's 5 hours?
Yep.
Mhm.
If we bumped it ahead a half hour or something,
On Friday,
if that's what you're asking, I guess, Susan.
I just thought 5:30 seemed late because dinner reservation, some people go
Well, I'm
down
just wondering if we
earlier.
could bump it to do 5 to 10 instead, like 30 minutes up.
I can ask.
It looks like
If you-
Capitol's bands that they have on Friday are scheduled 6 to 10.
Oh, right till 10.
So at 10:30.
Maybe that's why we started at 5:30.
So I guess if we wanted to go any early, just have to see what it would look like to do 5 to 10:30.
Not to throw a wrench in it, but they're planning on doing bands at the Stone Horse Green on Thursdays too, from 6 to 8. Or that's next year, they'll do the same thing, but when it's done, so.
Yeah.
So
Uh,
I'm assuming we have an option to add or make changes if all of a sudden it becomes very popular with just for an additional cost,
Well, what
obviously.
we could do is, I would like to do this anyway, is to try to get a feeling for where people are getting on and getting off.
Right.
I know the driver had been doing that manually, and I've been asking John the last couple of years if there was some other mechanism we could get on there that would measure that. So I can go back and have that discussion with him. But as far as the timing goes, I mean, if you want to move it to 5, I can make the request. I'm sure a half hour isn't going to be a deal breaker one way or another.
It was just my initial thought when I saw it. I don't know what anybody else feels.
I agree.
Jose, from the restaurant perspective, when do you typically start seeing people come in for dinner?
It seems to be going out earlier than usual. So for both meals, either lunch or dinner,
Okay,
seems to be busier before 6.
okay.
So I tend to agree If it's gonna be running, it should be running earlier than 5:30.
Do we want to run from 5 to 10 and take the half hour off the back end?
Well, if the bands are playing until 10, that will not give
Yeah.
them any chance to do the trolley at all.
Okay,
Right, or last call, right?
Yeah.
What time do they have to close down? Do they have to be out by a certain hour, you guys? I don't even know. I'm usually in bed by 8, so
At Capitol?
yeah.
That's a good question. I don't know if they start kicking people out at 10 or if that's just when the sound needs to be. I think for sure that's when the sound needs to go, but I don't know.
The other thing I was just gonna throw out there too, just from like a continuity thing, do we need to have this thing stopping at the same time both nights? Like, is that a big deal? Does anyone think? Like, does it, is that confusing if, I don't know, I was just trying to think of making it simple to try to get, riders and such.
From a consistency standpoint, it'd probably make more sense. And it might be easier for the front desk staff to keep
Right.
that in their brain.
Remember?
Like the last shuttle leaves from the downtown at 10:30.
Right.
Or does that mean it's done at 10:30? So what time does the last shuttle leave downtown?
Well, Saturday's hours are different entirely
Yeah, I
anyway,
see
because it
that.
starts at 11:30.
11:30. So I guess maybe it might be good to, I guess look into that.
So with my question, so does it meaning at 10:30 is the last trip they take back to the hotels, or they're done and they're leaving them to go back to the shop at 10:30?
I think that means the last loop begins like if we said it was running till 10:30, the last loop would run at 10:30. So likely wouldn't finish until 11.
Okay,
But
so
I'm not positive on that. Julie or Maury, can you confirm or
can't-
deny
I
that?
can't confirm that either.
Okay.
so if we were to extend Saturday until 10:30, so the timing's consistent, I understand why you started it earlier on Saturday. How much additional is that going to cost us with the additional 30 minutes on the front end on February?
Well, it's $103 per hour.
Okay,
I think with the time frame too,
Who's
like,
good at math?
so 103, do we get half of that for 30 minutes, or does he charge you for the full hour? If we add on an extra half an hour?
It's
on
an
the front end?
hour. It's
No
by the
matter what?
hour.
So it's $206 and some change. I would, so you're looking at maybe $13,000 tops. If you add the 30, right, you said $103 an hour.
Yes,
So you're adding it, and so you're adding an hour, is it from garage to garage, or we pay?
we're
them till-
talking, and it's 8 weekends, so whatever the additional is, if it's 103, so you said 206 per weekend?
Yeah,
So whatever 206 times 8 is what, $1,600?
yep. So we'd be
So-
up to about 13,000 then, right?
Yeah,
mhm.
Or a little more than that, 13,200.
I feel like, if there's if somebody, when a motion is made, then all you really need to do is just put like a dollar cap in there. Or up to amount, I think.
Mhm. Yeah. Why don't we do have a motion, something like to go ahead and move forward with the Badger Bus Lines proposal, allowing staff to tweak the hours, but not exceeding $15,000. That gives you a little room to
Right.
wiggle. I don't know.
Maybe make
Just-
the
Well, that
hours.
includes special events. So we don't want to exceed $15,000 for the rest of the year.
I think
and
you
that
can
includes the
specify
weekend runs and
specifically
special
for
events.
this service. Because we're
For-
talking
yeah.
about this service, like the 8 weekends.
Yes, for the 8 weekends. Thank you, Cord.
Cool.
So for the limited service as presented with possible adjustments to the hours.
Correct.
Sounds
And
right.
what were your suggestions for the hours? So I can check in with John.
Well-
I heard 5 to 10:30 on Friday and extending to 10:30 on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean,
I
Jose
just
is
feel like it'd be
11:30.
easier to have it end at the same time.
Mhm. Is 11:30 too late in the morning? Would you rather see it earlier?
No,
No, I
I
don't
think
even-
11:30 is fine.
Okay,
Yeah, I mean, and the one thing is too, is like I said, the hotels, the weekends have been a lot busier, so, you know, if there is leisure travelers, which is what it is right now, Saturdays, if they're looking for something to do, you know, that's probably good for them because they'll be able to catch it after breakfast or something and start moving around.
okay. So did you get that convoluted proposal?
Yeah, moving forward with basically giving staff the flexibility to adjust the hours as needed for a limited service. And right now, we're proposing to change Friday from 5 to 10:30 and Saturday from 11:30 in the morning until 10:30 in the evening.
Right, and then not to exceed the 15,000. That gives you, if we have to put the dollar amount in there, if you need that.
Okay,
If you don't need it, then leave it. up.
well, that's totally up to the commission.
Well, I
Oh.
mean, if anything, you could say up to 15,000, anything above, come back for the next meeting, you know, we can at least get this particular thing approved to get the ball rolling
Yep,
and adjust it. Like, I'm assuming we're gonna have to adjust these times again once we start rolling. But you never know.
Okay,
So we have a motion. Anybody want to second that?
I'll second.
Any other discussion?
Do we want to put a start date? Are we still thinking July 7th?
I think it was
Oh.
the 9th.
9th
Okay.
it says,
Yeah, the
Okay.
Friday.
which
John
is really
can't-
coming up.
John can't start before that.
Oh,
Well, I
okay.
shouldn't be so quick to say that. We've reserved it from July 9th through August 28th.
I'm assuming he's gonna have to rewrap that, huh? Or with
Um, Yes, that's another discussion,
okay.
which I think we could bring up during the budget conversation. Because it would be a trolley expense.
Any
Part of the
other thought?
reason, yeah, just so you know, part of the reason why we went with July 9th is it gives staff an opportunity to get the promotion, the marketing and promotion materials ready, get the word out to the hotels and do some advance publicity on it before it resumes.
Any other discussion?
No,
Otherwise, all those in favor say aye or raise your hand.
I,
And nobody opposed, I abstain. Motion carries. Next item up is next agenda, anything that we need to put on there, which we already deferred the election of the chair and vice
Elections.
chair.
hmm
Anything else?
I got nothing.
All right.
not near.
Otherwise, we will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I entertain a motion to move to adjourn the meeting.
All right. Who's gonna second that for
I'll second.
paperwork?
Yeah, right. Grigsby and
Okay.
Kate Wilson, right?
Damn city officials.
Technically, I think we have to vote on it too, but I don't know. That one, the adjournment one, obviously. All those in
Aye.
favor say aye. I can vote on
Aye.
something this one.
Aye.
All right. Well, it looks like we're set. Good meeting. Thank you, everybody.
Oh, now Jim just got here.
Jim
Jim
just
is
gets in. We just adjourned, so I don't know if we can go back. I mean, if we want to do the election really quick, Kevin's still not here, but it's up to you guys.
Well, you've adjourned, so I don't believe.
Yeah, we really
can-
technically
I
can't.
don't believe we can reconvene.
Yeah.
But we could
That's
ask
fine.
Jim what's going on in the hotel.
Yeah,
He appears to be on the move.
I don't think we can hear him.
No,
Yeah.
No, he might not be connected to audio.
can't hear you, Jim.
I have got to step off. So I'll see you guys later. Have a good night.
All right,
Bye,
see you later.
See you
everyone.
later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.